Hey there, YouTubers. I'm going to risk repeating myself tonight well, for one thing, this is probably getting old for some of you. If you're just joining us, I sometimes pull out the spooky ball and say it's the night theme. Night theme. It's kind of like we have different themes on desktops and your phone. My phone keeps telling me it might be time to update my theme. It's amazing how much advice I get from automata, always telling me to do something or other. It's kind of like if you don't have enough sort of reflexes of your own, there's sure plenty you can just get from the environment, you know. So this was a story about buckyballs in space. I'm not sure if the fact that they're ionized is what's new, but just let's remember that Sir Harold Kroto, who was one of those who shared the Nobel Prize for the discovery of buckyballs, first discovered the spectral signature in interstellar data. He was scanning interstellar space when he saw the C60 spike, right? So that's what got him to do mass spectrometry at Rice University in Texas. He teamed up with the other two people. Anyway, it always was in space. That's where it got started here. Now, I've been talking a lot about whole number volumes, and I just use that as kind of a meme. It's kind of like a musical scale. It's really the concentric hierarchy of synergetics, and some of the volumes are whole number. It's just the tetrahedron plays well with others compared to, say, the cube. So we kick the cube over to volume 3 and reserve the position of 1 for the tetrahedron, which is heretical but interesting, and what we teach in the School of Tomorrow. And what I've been showing, going by quickly sometimes, is this REPL IT. And what am I sharing here? These are David Koski's results regarding the S module. And when he writes it lowercase, he's scaling it down by phi to the third power, like 1 over phi to the third power. That's a shrinkage. It's like every edge is going down by 1 over phi, 0.618. But overall, when you shrink in linear dimensions, your volume overall goes down as a third power. So when you double something's edges, the volume goes up by 8. When you have something's edges, the volume goes down to 1/8 of what it was. So phi scaling is bumping volumes up and down by phi, but in the volume world, that's to the third power, sixth power, ninth power, as we apply factors. So there's 6s6 means we're bumping up an S module by the phi power twice, right? And taking 6 of those and adding that to 6 that have just been bumped up once, and add those together and you get the rhombic dodecahedron. So these are like identities, volumetric identities, and I've got them as a Python program. You can just hit the run button, and what prints out are computations based on actually doing these identities and seeing that they come out on the floaty side. Now, I do this sometimes using higher precision than just floating point numbers. So what's an S module and what are we talking about here? See, something new that we probably didn't understand. I have a vector equilibrium. I have a jitterbug that I took with me to the meetup today. I should get it out, but it's downstairs. So you know what I mean by a jitterbug, right? And it turns a cuboctahedron into an icosahedron as shown here. And then you can, well, it's the best way to explain it. You can take that octahedron and put an icosahedron inside it with faces flush. So that's our octahedron of volume 4, our canonical octahedron we could call it. And we've squished down an icosahedron so its faces are flush. And from there we carve out what are called S modules from the difference of those two. Here's a plain net of the S module. And it turns out, and this is what's interesting, and what's not really specified in Fuller's two volumes, is that the ratio of the cuboctahedron to the icosahedron in the jitterbug transformation is the same as the ratio of the S module to the E module. And the E module, again, is 1/120th of a rhombic tricontahedron. So since synergetics, the two volumes, and thanks to David Koski in a large degree, we have some interesting volumetric identities that jump out at you once you start using the tetrahedron as your unit of volume, which is the thing that Fuller should be remembered for as much as the geodesic dome, if not more. And the fact that it always, when we talk about Bucky, it's about the dome and not about his explorations in the geometry of thinking, that's been left to sit on a shelf, except by some of us. And so now we're up to the branding stage and the TV stage, and we're kind of cashing in on our being so esoteric, and we have some interesting math to share based on about a decade or two of a few people finding this interesting. Now, I think if more people joined us and really took this to heart, I think we would get a lot more progress a lot faster. And it's frustrating to me. I did get 3D printed S modules, phi scaled. So that's one is phi up from the other here. These are S modules. I have a whole video on going to a local library and getting help having those printed out. And thanks to Flextegrity for actually doing the CAD drawings in the first place. They know their synergetics pretty well. Okay, well, that's just kind of what I'm talking about when I talk about whole number volumes. I'm talking about the fact that in this chart here, tetrahedron, a lot of them are just fractional. They're not whole number, but they're integral, like 1/24th for the A and B modules. Also the T modules, 1/24th. So if this all sounds like an alien language to you, that's what we call Martian math, right? And it is an alien language to you because you aren't allowed to know it for some reason. But hey, it's on YouTube. Hope you had a good evening. Talk to you soon.